Hello, we're going to talk about China's nefarious presence in Venezuela, as well as in Latin America. After 1998, since when Hugo Chavez took the presidency of Venezuela, he started to look for diversifying the trade, not only with the Western countries, but also with Asia, and especially with China. And it became a very special partner to China because all the riches that has Venezuela, like the largest proven oil reserves in the world, all the raw materials, made it very important for China because of the hungry industry it has. As president, Chavez made this relation with China very deep. He has been the Latin American president that has visited much more than any other China. And the fruits of this relation, it's in the decade between 2007 and 2017, it was an explosion of investment in Venezuela. Beijing invested and loaned like $64 billion in loans in housing, infrastructure, satellites, mining, and even a railway, which is used to extract the minerals that are demanded by the Chinese industry. And these loans were collateralized with oil, and this oil is now being repaid to China. Let's see how. Since 2005, Venezuela represents the 45% of China's total inversion in Latin America. But Chavez died, and Maduro is not Chavez. Maduro made a total failure of Venezuela. Economically, Venezuela is not relevant anymore because it's impossible to support that country. And China knows it. Beijing has tried to manage the debt they have with Maduro. And since Maduro is in power, he only got $5 billion. And this was money that was loaned to revive the production of oil in Venezuela. It hasn't worked. PDVSA, the state-owned industry that extracts petrol and oil in Venezuela, has been totally bankrupt. And since it happened, they haven't been able to open new lines of credit, and they prefer only to renew pre-existing ones and grant extensions in repayment timelines. And some money has been invested in oil, but it hasn't been repaid because of the sanctions that exist right now on the Venezuelan regime. The economic failure of Venezuela, it's one issue that China it's not very comfortable with, but in the other hand, the China's regime has supported very hard the Maduro's regime internationally. The diplomacy of China not recognizing Juan Guaido when other 60 countries did, it has been the most important ally in the world because China it's helping with diplomatic relations. Some relations include the influence in the many international organizations, and the most important is the Council for Human Rights in 2019, where Venezuela became a member with the support of China, Russia, and Cuba, joining them in the laughable, incredible commission that has in this council all the violators of human rights. It's incredible that China has managed to do that. But most nefariously, China has helped the dictatorship in this repression activities. The most interesting and cruel way is the technology. China has invested in technology that means social control in Venezuela. This social control starts with the Carnet de la Patria, the Fatherland's card. It's a card that is developed and sold by ZTE Corporation, a Chinese-owned technology company. And with this card, they can monitor everyone's social, political, economic, commercial activity or behavior. So this card is essential to get all the assistance, the social assistance, the food, the government, the regime of Maduro gives away to their citizens only if they show this carnet de la patria. And this credit, it's related to a series of databases that control everything Venezuelans do inside Venezuela, as well their opinions, their consumption, everything. It's monitored with Chinese technology. The intervention of China in the dictatorship of Maduro, it's also visible. It can see in the military hardware they have sold, like all the weapons they used to repress the Venezuelan people. China is carrying this big debt, this humongous debt with Venezuela. That's why it's one of the reasons they support the regime, because they know if a democratic regime or government comes to Venezuela, they won't be able to pay, and they will not want to pay for this help they have made to this dictatorial regime, this Maduro regime. And as well, they would lose this geopolitical strategical position in Latin America and in the neighborhood of the United States. Thank you very much.